All right, what up guys? Yesterday we got another Fable update. Well, we got a Fable Gameplay Overview is what we got, which is probably honestly the biggest piece of information we've gotten for the new Fable game. We've gotten teaser trailers so far, but this is like actual gameplay, like footage and overview. Pretty cool video. Tells us a lot about the new game, and I just wanted to kind of go over the video today with you guys. So without further ado, let's just start this puppy up.
Hi, welcome to Playground Games, where I'm thrilled to share our very first deep dive into a game we've been making here for a really long time.
This part just kind of like talks about the team and like how they're working on Forza and stuff. Like honestly, not super important.
Lionhead Studios, the original creators of the franchise. And although our game is a new beginning, I think what we're making is really faithful to the spirit of the classic Lionhead trilogy that we all love.
Which that's good to hear. And pre-warning, I did pre-watch this, and I would say that those words, they do ring true. I would say that they did a pretty decent job of staying true to the original series. And you'll definitely see what he means here.
At the heart of our game is a simple, recurring question. What does it mean to you to be a hero? Our game is about choices and their consequences. It's packed with action, drama, British humor, moral dilemmas, and quite a few chickens.
So yeah, pretty much all the ingredients you need for a Fable game. Let's keep going though.
Combines in a fairy tale, which could only be Fable.
Also, sorry I could keep pausing this, but if you can hear that music in the background, I'd say they got the music pretty well dialed in. I mean, it definitely gives that Fable essence. I think like so far the music is sounding right, the descriptions are sounding right, but let's see what they're giving us, right?
In classic Fable fashion, you begin the game as a child, growing up in the sleepy rural village of Briar Hill.
See, now this right here, I'm not gonna lie, it looks a little rough here. I don't know what it is about this like little kid player model, but it doesn't look or feel right to me. Kind of beside the point, but it is nice that we're still like continuing with the whole like you start as a child thing and then you move on from there or whatever. Classic Fable starter, right?
It's here that in a moment of extreme danger, your heroic powers first emerge, and we discover that you are Albion's first hero in a generation.
First hero in a generation?
Afterwards,
wait, Briar Hill. I just noticed it's Briar Hill. Is that like a nod to Briar Rose, or is that completely unrelated?
Strikes, and the people of your village, including your beloved grandma, are turned to stone by a mysterious stranger. Suddenly alone in the world, you'll set...
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know like how I feel about this like origin story. Seems like a little milquetoast. Like they could have done something a little bit more interesting than like, oh yeah, fucking family got frozen.
Including your beloved grandma, are turned to stone by a mysterious stranger. Suddenly alone in the world, you'll set off on an adventure, which will change Albion.
Kind of a weird like plot starter, but whatever.
Venturing out into the world is a huge moment, because this is Albion like you've never seen it before. Idyllic rolling hills, magical forests.
See, I like this stuff looks pretty cool, but I'm not gonna lie, like for some reason like a lot of the stuff looks kind of dated. Not that it like really matters in the grand scheme of things as long as the game is good, but like some of the visuals seem like they need some dialing in still. And to be fair, like this is like gonna be releasing in the fall, so we've got like almost an entire year worth of development left in this game, so I wouldn't take like all of the like minutiaes of detail at face value here, because a lot of that stuff could still be being tweaked, still being worked on, all that stuff, so take it all with a grain of salt, I guess. But yeah, like shit like this is looking really cool. And this is like this village looks fucking fantastic, right? But hold up. This is giving me flashbacks to Fable 2 here. So one of my problems with Fable 2 was that like it was definitely more open world than the first game, but most of the open world was just like empty nothingness that just like got in your way, you know? Like you're just trying to get to the place that actually has something, but you gotta like tread through this fucking wasteland of nothingness to get there. I'm hoping it's not quite as bad as Fable 2, but like judging by this picture, it kind of looks like there might be like a little bit too much sprawl, but you know, again, one little fucking picture. And I'm not really trying to like nitpick this or anything. I'm just like trying to draw comparisons to like my experiences with the old games here. And my experience with Fable 2 is that the open world wasn't like all that helpful to the narrative of the game, you know what I mean? Or like the gameplay itself for that matter. We'll see how it ends up being, but I hope it's not just like a whole bunch of like vast, empty, sprawling nothingness that like isn't really consequential to the game and is like just there as filler to be like, hey, look at how big this open world is, right? Yeah, we'll have to see, but
Oversized vegetable
it's giving me
patches,
Fable 2 vibes in
and
that regard.
stunning vistas.
But
And because our Albion is
it
truly
does look
open
good,
world, for the
I have to
first
say.
time, you'll be able to explore this rich and detailed world seamlessly, with the freedom to go where you want from early in the game.
Wait, the freedom to go where you want early in the game. That's pretty nice.
With the freedom to
Seamlessly.
go where you want from early in the game.
So it kind of sounds like there's not really going to be like quest locking of regions, which I don't know how much Fable 2 and 3 did that. I think most of the game was probably accessible from the beginning, but there was definitely like some things that you needed to like, you know, advance in the quest line to access, like the desert area in Fable 3 or whatever, things like that. So it's interesting that they're going for like a full-on like open world approach, because that is kind of a departure from the classic Fable structure of like, you know, continue with the main quest line to open up new areas and stuff. But I mean, like, there's something to be said about both methodologies here. I think it is kind of lame to have like, you know, 90% of the game locked behind quests, but I like being able to explore right off the bat. But like something about like unlocking new areas always feels really good, you know? Like as you advance with the game, it's like, oh, I got stronger, I got a little bit richer, and like, oh, now there's this new area that just unlocked, and oh, now like there's better weapons I can buy, better armor I can buy, that sort of thing. So like that's always nice, but it is also equally nice to just be able to go wherever the fuck you want, because like, why would the world be like locked based on like what level you are or like what quest you did? It just doesn't make sense. Like everybody else is allowed to go there, but not you, right? Like, I don't know.
Back to Albion's iconic capital city, Bowerstone.
Bowerstone.
Home.
Which, yeah, by the way, super awesome that they're bringing back classic Fable locations, because that was a pretty big point of contention, was like, is this actually going to take place in the like original like classic Fable universe, or is it going to be kind of its own thing that's like sort of loosely based off of the original games? And it seems like it's more or less like fully based off of the original games, but they're kind of just pulling from the different games where they see fit, which you'll see here. So yeah, we got Bowerstone as a town.
To Fairfax Castle.
And they mentioned Fairfax Castle. So yeah, this is Fairfax Castle. And pardon me, I can't remember if that was in Fable 2 or Fable 3, or if it was honestly in both of those games. But yeah, pretty interesting that they went with the Fairfax Castle route instead of the like the Bowerstone Manor or whatever they call it, right? So if we were to like try to put this on some sort of time scale or some sort of timeline, right, it would fall probably somewhere between Fable 1 and Fable 2 so far from what I know about this. Might make a little bit more sense as we keep watching, but it definitely seems to take place after the first game, because, you know, Fairfax Castle, Bowerstone is huge and way more developed than it was in the first game, so it seems to take place at least later on. But I mean, spoiler for this whole thing, I'm sure everybody's seen it anyway, but I didn't see a single gun in this gameplay overview, so I can only really predict that it takes place before Fable 2, but after Fable 1. And that's assuming they keep with like the same canonical timeline, which it might be a completely separate timeline, so grain of salt type stuff here.
The old clock tower. And the legendary Heroes Guild.
And then there's a return of the Heroes Guild, and that sort of solidifies the whole like between Fable 1 and Fable 2 thing, because what we know about Fable 1 obviously is like the Heroes Guild is the main focus, and then Fable 2, you know, the Heroes Guild is destroyed, it's in ruins, and that's kind of like part of the story or whatever. So this definitely seems to take place between the first game and the second game, because the Heroes Guild is still there, there's no guns, and Fairfax Castle exists, and all sorts of other stuff that didn't exist in the first game. So from what I can understand, on a timeline, if it was in the same timeline, it's between the first game and the second game. But it's so cool that the fucking Heroes Guild is making a return, because I was pretty worried about that. I mean, like, that was like one of my least favorite things about Fable 2 and 3, is that they removed like all the Fable from Fable, it seemed, right? Like every single thing that you liked about Fable, they removed for Fable 2, it seems. Like oh, everybody loved the Heroes Guild, so let's get rid of it, right? Like, oh, everybody loved the medieval setting, so let's put guns in, right? Like, it was just, it was too much of a departure from the first game, so it almost feels like a Fable 2 redemption, right? Like, these people seem to understand what I understand, which is that Fable 2 took it way too far, and this seems like a Fable 2 where they kind of dial it back a little bit. Dial it back into, like, the original Fable 1 type of setting, right? Seems pretty fucking solid, honestly, so far. Like, I am not less excited from Fable after seeing this. I am definitely more excited about Fable after seeing this. Let's just put it that way.
It's a huge city, full of contrasts. Rich and poor, nobles and commoners, royalty and criminals. You'll spend plenty of time here during the game as you discover the secrets of the Heroes Guild and its reclusive guildmaster, Humphrey the Golden.
And then, yes, of course, we get confirmation that Humphrey is, in fact, the guild master, and you are his, like, trainee, essentially. I don't remember what, I want to say some people thought Humphrey was going to be, like, the bad guy or something, or, like, he was going to end up being Jack of Blades. I don't know what they thought he was going to be. I seem to recall a lot of people thought that he was going to be, like, a bad guy or something. Like, no, he's definitely just the guild master. Like, which is pretty much what I thought it would be. It was like, if not the guild master, like, he's basically like your mentor or whatever, right?
In the north of Albion, you'll find mountains, craggy coastlines, spooky marshes, and the bleak, windswept city of Bloodstone.
Bloodstone.
Here, you'll meet the leaders
Was that
of
in 2 or
rival
3?
gangs vying for power and uncover the secrets of the sinister but extremely well-organized Cult of Shadows.
The Cult of Shadows.
Our Albion is beautiful, handcrafted, and richly detailed.
Oh my god, I don't think I actually noticed this the first time I watched it, but yeah, she's riding a horse, so they added horses to the game. That's pretty major. So yeah, horses confirmed. That's pretty dope.
In Albion, heroes are special, different. They're stronger than regular people. They're more skillful, more charismatic. More importantly, they're those rare humans who can harness and use magic in the world around them. They have the power to do what they want.
And so do you. In our game, we want you to play as the hero you want to be. And that starts with being able to choose how your hero character looks.
So, in Fable, you'll be able to pick...
And this is like probably one of like the biggest points of contention and one of the biggest reveals about the game. A lot of people had a lot of opinions about how this was going to go. And I gotta say, I was wrong. I was pretty damn sure that, like, it was just gonna be her. Because, like, she's an actual actor, right? Like, this is a real human being in real life. Or at least it's a video game rendition of a real-life human being who is also the voice actor for this character. And so I was pretty well convinced that because they're spending all the time, effort, and literally money paying her to be her, like, it wouldn't make sense to, like, scrap all that and just let you make your own character. But it turns out they're gonna scrap all that and just let you make your own character. So that's pretty exciting, yeah. But yeah, so listen to the way he describes it though.
Choose how your hero character looks.
So, in Fable, you'll be able to pick from a range of different character heads.
You'll be able to pick from a range of different character heads. So it's not like full on like Skyrim character customization, but you do get some options, obviously. You get to choose between different faces, and then I guess you also get to choose skin tone too.
And customize your clothing, hair, skin tone, tattoos, and scars. So the hero you play represents you.
But as well as your
So
appearance,
everybody
you can
gets
be the
represented. Hold on, let me look back real quick. What we got for, like, it's all just clothing
Different
basically
character
though.
heads.
See, because what I'm wondering is, so that almost looked like armor for a second before I realized it was the chicken soup. So what I'm wondering is, does armor make a return, you know? I mean, I guess, like, theoretically there was armor in the other game, but, like, it was just cosmetic, you know? Like, is all clothing cosmetic, or are we gonna go back to, like, different armor values like we had in the first Fable? Because that was honestly like one of my least favorite things about Fable 2 was that they completely did away with the armor system. Even though there was technically a suit of armor in Fable 2, it wasn't armor. It was just clothing that looked like armor. Like, nothing had an armor value. It didn't matter what you were wearing. It did not change any of your stats whatsoever, which I just think is boring as fuck. Like, I really, really hope they bring back like an armor point system. Like, even for clothes, like, like, leather clothes should have more armor than just, like, normal cloth clothes. There should be chainmail that's a little bit better than leather. There should be plate mail that's a little bit better than chainmail. And then maybe even, like, different classes of plate mail, right? Ideally, at least. I really hope they went, like, more Fable 1 on that aspect than, like, Fable 2, you know?
But as well as your appearance, you can be the hero you want to be through the way you play, through the skills and abilities you learn, and through the weapons you use.
Just like the classic trilogy.
So this is really nice
in our
here.
game, fight with a combination of strength, skill, and will.
So what you'll notice here is that the magic system seems to be more akin to the first game. Definitely not like the second game. Fable 2 had the worst magic system of any of the Fable games, and it's not even up for discussion. Like, it's a fucking horrendous system. I don't know why the fuck they made it that. Like, they had magic absolutely dialed in with the first game. Like, the first Fable literally had one of the best magic systems of any video game of all time ever, at least at that point in time, right? It was very fucking like immediate and fluid and intuitive, right? Fable 2 was just like fucking dumb. You had like 5 different levels of spells, and you had to like charge up each level individually, and like you couldn't just like, I mean, you could technically cast instantly, but you'd be casting like the level 1 version of the spell. This kind of just seems like you attach a spell to your spell button, and then you're just casting that spell when you press that button, right? Which is how it should be. That's how it was in the first game. It's like you equip the fucking spell, you hit it, and boom, you're hitting it. Doesn't matter what level it is, you're hitting that spell as soon as you hit it, right? The combat looks pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie. It looks pretty nice and fluid, fast. It doesn't look like sluggish or sloppy at all. It looks pretty good, I have to say. Like, I'm pretty stoked about the combat system from what I'm seeing here.
Seamlessly blending melee and ranged weapons with magical abilities gives us style-weaving combat.
It looks like we got dual wielding too.
Play style against single opponents.
Well, it's cool too because it's like the melee combat looks like it has some weight to it too, which is nice, but it like doesn't, like, it has the weight to it without looking like it sacrifices like the fluidity of combat, right? Like, the combat looks really nice and fluid, but it also looks like you have some weight behind your attacks, which looks pretty fucking satisfying. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about the combat system so far from what I'm seeing here. And like, look at that fireball. He just pulls that fucking fireball and throws it. There's no like, oh, pull up the fucking spell list and charge it up, and like, no, it's just like, hit him with that fireball, right? Like, that's the way it should be.
Melee is at the heart of our close quarters combat. You'll use light and heavy combos, often knocking enemies off balance and executing stylish finishes.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Swap to your ranged weapon to bypass enemy guard and deal with troublesome flying enemies.
And the ranged combat looks pretty good too. There's actually bows in this game, which I don't know if you guys remember Fable 2, but there weren't actually bows in Fable 2. There were only crossbows in Fable 2. And then there were, of course, the guns, which, like, as soon as you get your first gun, it's like, what the fuck is a crossbow, right? It's nice to see that, like, it's kind of like stepping back towards the first game a little bit, right? Like, we're going back to more of, like, the medieval setting. No more guns. I'm sure there's probably still crossbows in the game, but, like, you can actually use a bow and arrow now, right? Like, it's in the past enough that, like, actual normal bow and arrows are still relevant, so that's good. And then I think from what we saw in one of the original trailers was that there's thrown weapons, too. So, like little, like, throwing daggers or whatever it was.
You'll be able to unleash your powerful spells to both manipulate and devastate your opponents.
See, look, that lightning spell looked pretty nice.
Back some fan favorite adversaries for you to fight.
Fan favorite adversaries? Oh, the hobs, right? I don't seem to remember the hobs going away. They were definitely in Fable 2 because I remember fighting them in the arena.
As our battle rings.
Oh yeah, there's your. Oh, it's a repeater crossbow too. So, they get a little bit fancy with the crossbows.
And we're adding brand new enemies too.
What in the fuck?
This fearsome cockatrice, a giant fire-breathing chicken. Each enemy family is
it looks like a
different,
rooster,
with
but
their own
okay.
weaknesses to exploit and defenses to overcome. But with all the unique tools in your combat toolbox, how you defeat your enemies is up to you.
But there's more to being a hero in Albion than fighting, so much more. When we talk to people about their favorite memories of the original games, so many of their stories were about the stuff you can do when you weren't just being a hero. The normal, everyday stuff which happened when you interacted with the people of Albion.
Which this stuff, like,
What I remember most
low key, like, I wasn't worried about any of this stuff. Like, I mean, other games are doing this stuff at this point too. But like Fable 2 and Fable 3, like, if those two games, for as much as I don't really like them, if they did anything, they really dialed in the marriage and real estate, just general, like, relationship system of the game. Like, they really dialed that shit in. So I was never really worried about that. Like, that's honestly the easiest part of the game to make, if we're being completely honest.
vividly are the inhabitants of Albion and the things you can do with them.
But this does actually get interesting. I do have a gripe with this, I'm not gonna lie.
In the middle of a sprawling RPG was almost a complete other game where you could just mess around with the villagers and townsfolk.
And we've built that same experience in the middle of our game too.
Similar experience. I wouldn't call it the same. So yeah, like, obviously they've got
some money,
like, the jobs from Fable 2 basically here.
Romancing a villager, getting married, having kids.
Fancy a day?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't like
Kids.
this whole layout looks stupid. I don't like this. It looks like we're playing like fucking Baldur's Gate or something. I don't even know. I didn't play Baldur's Gate, so that's, I don't know. But like, or no, it looks like we're playing like The Sims 2 or something. Like, what the fuck even is this shit, right? Like, something about this like user interface for NPC interactions, it doesn't feel right. I don't know. It feels like we're playing The Sims all of a sudden. I don't know what this is. It's pretty weird.
Fancy a date?
Perfect. You can get to know me better.
And that's a little bit rough around the edges, like facial expressions and talking and stuff. Just in general, from what I'm seeing here, like, this game kind of gives me like MMO vibes. Like, you know how like MMOs will like look pretty damn good, but like the actual like mechanical look of the game is like kind of rough looking. Like NPCs, like they don't really have very like refined like movements or gestures or anything. The textures and stuff might look pretty decent, but like there's not a whole lot of depth to like animations and stuff like that is concerned, right? When I see like villagers like talking and walking around Albion, it looks like how NPCs would like walk and talk in like World of Warcraft, right? It looks like kind of stiff and unnatural for the most part. You'll probably see what I mean a couple times here, but like this is a pretty good example of that.
Buying another house.
Like this whole, let's just rewind this real quick. Like this whole reaction just looks kind of cringe. Look at this.
Having kids.
Fancy a date?
Perfect. You can get to know me better.
Like that just doesn't look right. Like that looks like some MMO
another
fucking
house.
like dialogue
Buying every
animation.
House in Albion. Buying every business in Albion.
Yeah, obviously
Getting
real
rich.
estate makes its return.
Marrying a bunch more people,
Having
more
kids makes a return.
probably getting divorced along the way for good measure.
And this game within a game is unique to Fable. It's systemic, interconnected, and you see the
Systemic?
ripple effects of the things you do.
Does that mean they're gonna have
everywhere you go.
systemic racism?
And all of this revolves around the people who live in Albion, who we call the living population. There are more than 1,000.
All right,
of
so
them,
right
and
here,
every
right
single
here.
one is unique.
Does this not look like we're playing an MMO right now?
Routine and their own personality. You could follow any one of them for a day and just watch them live their life.
It's hard to describe that MMO look, but I swear, it looks like we're playing an
Go to
MMO here.
work, spend some leisure time on hobbies, then go home to bed.
But what's even cooler is that you can talk to every single one of them in fully voiced conversations and interact with them in loads.
It's crazy because it's like, I remember when they made this announcement with fucking Oblivion back in like 2004, 2005 or whatever, when they were talking about Oblivion. Every NPC is gonna live its own life. You can follow them around and watch them wake up, go to work, and then go home and go to bed. It's like, bro, like this is 20-year-old technology, bro. This is like bare minimum shit, but like I'm glad it's in the game, but like holy shit, like this is, I remember when like people were getting hyped about this back in like 2005, bro. Like what? What?
That you can talk to every single one of them in fully voiced conversations and interact with them in loads of different ways. Maybe the job they go to is working for you because you hired them to work in one of your businesses.
Hey, you. Working hard? How can I help you, boss?
Maybe the bed they
Yeah, of course, a lot of people were like, oh, you got black people in Albion, blah, blah, blah. I don't really give that much of a fuck, but like, well, let's be real here. Like, what are the chances of like, never mind, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there, fuck it.
sleep in is in a house you own because you're the landlord.
Or maybe their bed is on the street because you evicted them.
Damn.
Oh, it's you. You're awful.
That's actually hella clowning. So like, this actually, it's funny because this actually like ties into what I thought was kind of stupid about the interactions between like NPCs and whatnot. But this part of it is actually really cool. The fact that like when you evict somebody from their house, it like personally affects their disposition towards you. Like that's some next level shit. Like that's actually really cool. But you'll see what I mean about this system here in a second when they explain it a little bit further.
All of the stuff you do affects what they
All
think
of the
you.
stuff you do affects what they think of you.
Because everything you do builds your
Everything you do.
Impressive. Now that's an hero right there.
Morality has always been super important to Fable. That tension between good
See, the thing is, morality has always been pretty much objective in Fable, and now morality has become subjective, as you guys will see.
Good and evil underpinned all of the original games.
Cause like before, yeah, like you said, it was good and evil underpinned all the games. It was like if you did something good, people were like, this guy is good. If you did something bad, they were like, this guy is bad. And it's like literally that simple. Like, don't do bad things and people won't hate you. But now it's not that simple. Again, like you guys will see here in a second.
And morality is central to our game too, but we have a slightly different take on it.
Slightly different take.
For us, morality isn't black and white.
Yeah,
There are
tell me
lots
about
of
it.
gray areas.
And these gray areas are what kind of ruin it for me.
Morality is subjective.
There we go. Yeah, morality is subjective. Yeah, it is.
No two people see things exactly the same way.
Which, like, sure, it's realistic, but I feel like it unnecessarily backs you into certain corners for seemingly no fucking reason. You see who's buying this property here, right?
And that's how it works in our game too.
Everything you do earns you a reputation.
So yeah, everything you do earns you some sort of reputation. You kick a chicken, you get some chicken chaser reputation. You buy a building, you get tycoon and rich person reputation, which people will just hate you for. People will be like, oh, this guy has money, so now I don't like him. And it's like, it feels like the game is punishing you and backing you into a corner for things that, like, you didn't really do wrong. Like, you're just doing, and, like, now the game is punishing you for doing, like, just completely normal shit.
And every person in Albion will have a different
Look at
reaction
this,
to you as a
right
result.
here.
Hello there.
Yeah, we get it. You're rich.
Like, it doesn't matter, like, how much of the world you save or how much of a good guy you are. You buy too many houses and you're just a rich twat to these people. Like, somewhat kind of based on reality for sure, but at the same time, again, it's like, it just kind of feels like you're backing players into a corner for, like, completely arbitrary reasons, right? Not really sure how I feel about that. Maybe it doesn't really affect gameplay in all that great of a way, but it feels like you're being punished for no reason here.
Hate you for the choices you make, and they will always tell you why. Although, usually from a safe distance.
Our game will never judge you, but the people of Albion will, loudly.
Imbecile.
Your reputation is created by the choices you make, and you are going to make a lot of them. Big choices, little choices, moral choices, and some choices that will actually change the landscape of Albion for the rest of your game. We call this idea, your choices change the world. Let's give you an example.
What?
Early in the game, you'll meet a character named Dave, an egotistical gardener
Oh,
in a
this
rural
guy,
village
that's right.
who discovers a
Oh, so, like, a lot of people thought that he was gonna be, like, the main antagonist of the game. It literally actually, for as important as it seemed like it was being made in that first trailer, it really is just a one-off side quest that's, like, almost completely inconsequential to the game, other than this, like, weird random detail they're about to mention.
magical growth formula. He accidentally turns himself into a giant and becomes a big problem. It'll be your job to deal with him, and ultimately it will be your choice whether to kill him or to spare him.
I mean, spoiler
If you
alert,
kill him,
damn.
His giant corpse will lie on the farmland just outside of town for the rest of the game.
Which is kind of fucking
That is going
clowning,
to affect
honestly.
house prices. It will also affect what a lot of the villagers think about you.
Especially Dave's sister.
In Fable,
Uh-oh.
the choices you make will define you. What does being a hero mean to you?
At Playground Games, we've built a pedigree for beautiful, immersive.
So yeah, that's
open
pretty
world
much it. I don't know
experience.
what they're just kind of like fucking jack themselves off here for a second. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I gotta say, like, yeah, like I said, I'm fucking way more excited for Fable than I was. I mean, not that I wasn't excited for it, but like, this like dispels a lot of the rumors and a lot of the theories and a lot of the like bad feelings that we had about this game as a whole, and it put a lot of that stuff to rest. And really, this just gets me so fucking stoked for this game. It's such a shame that we're not gonna get it until the fall, because goddamn. But yeah, overall, super duper excited for the next Fable. I was honestly hoping for like a slightly different setting. In my mind, like the perfect Fable reboot would have either been like literally in the same setting as the first game, or set like slightly before the first game. I mean, my original theory was that you're basically going to be playing as like, either going to be playing as a Scarlet Robe or whatever, your mother in the first game. I thought you were either going to be playing as her, or potentially that weird like sort of like robed character that shows up in the background that everybody like thought was like Teresa or something, or was going to be like the antagonist or whatever the fuck. Yeah, potentially that might have been Scarlet Robe. Doesn't really look like that's going to be happening. It doesn't really look like there's any direct ties to any of the other games other than the actual setting itself, like Albion, and then like the cities and stuff like that. Doesn't really seem like there's actually any characters that are referenced or that make a return. Like, so there was no Teresa anywhere here, which makes me happy. I'm so fucking sick of seeing Teresa in every Fable game. She is my least favorite part of Fable 2 and 3, and she was also pretty annoying in the first game, but like she wasn't that bad in the first game. And like obviously the Guildmaster's Humphrey, because pretty much anybody who existed in the first game is probably dead at this point, and anybody who exists in the second game is probably not alive yet, pretty much, unless they were to bring back Teresa. She's pretty much the only person that could be alive at that point still. But I think ultimately it's like a new canon. Like, I don't think it's going to be following the same canon as the original Fable series. It's just holding true to the original Fable series as much as it can, as far as like gameplay, setting, overall aesthetics, that sort of thing, which is good. It is. I don't think it was ever really meant to be like a sequel or a prequel or anything like that, so like that's completely fine. But yeah, combat looks pretty good. Magic system looks dialed in. We don't know the minutiae of that stuff, but from what I can see, looks pretty good. We've got like jobs like Fable 2. We've got a nice real estate system. And then, like, most importantly, because, like, really, like, Fable 2 for me could have been basically a perfect game if they just didn't put guns in the game, right? Like, that is, like, really, like, 90% of my gripe with the Fable 2 and 3 is that they pretty much ruined Fable when they made those games. Like, it's not that they're bad games, it's that they're terrible Fable games. Like, they are not representative of the Fable spirit. Like, there's definitely aspects of those games that are representative of the Fable spirit, but the game as a whole, I don't think can really be considered a Fable game because of like how far, like they went 600 years in the future. Like, again, it would be the same as like if like Skyrim came out and then when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, it's basically like Halo 2, right? Like could you imagine if like the Elder Scrolls made a jump from like Skyrim to like Halo? Like, all of a sudden, you're, like, Master Chief, you've got, like, plasma grenades and fucking, you know, energy swords and shit like that. Like, it would be fucking stupid, right? Like, you'd be like, yeah, this game is fun as fuck, but it's not Fable, right? Like, obviously, like, Halo was a great game. It's not like people would be mad that they're playing Halo, but if they were expecting Fable and they got Halo, they'd be like, all right, well, this game is fun and all, but it's not fucking Fable, right? Or, you know, Elder Scrolls, whatever my fucking example was, right? Overall, definitely excited about this. I'm glad that they're not like going full Fable 2 mode with it. It seems like a perfect, it basically, it feels like what Fable 2 should have been, if we're being completely honest here. It's a perfect balance between Fable 1 and Fable 2. So yeah, it has like all of the aspects you love from Fable 2 with none of the shit that like ruined the game, like the shitty magic system, adding guns to the game, removing bow and arrows. We don't really know a whole lot about the armor system yet, so that's still on the table. But then yeah, like they've got like stuff from Fable 1, the setting from Fable 1 as far as like medieval time period. You've got like the Heroes Guild and all that stuff. So it seems like a pretty good game so far from what I can see here, and I'm definitely more excited about it than not at this point. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is a long ass video. I did not expect it to go this long, but yeah, there's a lot covered in this video, a lot to talk about. So again, it does look a little bit rough around the edges in certain aspects, but you know, we've got at least like what, 9 months or something until this game comes out, so they've got some time to tweak some stuff, workshop it a bit. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys are even more excited about the new Fable game now after seeing this gameplay footage, because yeah, I think this really like puts a lot of like the fears and stuff to rest, and I think this is pretty much mostly good stuff coming out of this little gameplay overview. So yeah, again, hope you enjoyed it, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one, whenever that may be. Peace out.